Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm here today to record a video showing you my decks that I've chosen to work with for the spring, for April and May time. I've got quite a lot of decks, so I've decided to work with them over 2 months. And this is my second attempt at this video. I had got 10 minutes into the last one and accidentally knocked my camera and the tripod fell off the table. So yeah, it's one of those ones that's like screwed to the side of the table, and it had obviously been coming unscrewed gradually over time and it fell off. So I had a big strop and had a big stroppy time stropping around, and I've now decided that I'm calm enough to have another go. So here we are. So I have just recorded today as well my what have I been up to, what have I been doing video, where I've showed you the decks that I worked with in March and some books, and just chatted a little bit about March, really, or how my March was. So I do hope you'll give that a watch and say hello, and I hope you'll enjoy seeing my springtime decks. I've noticed lots of people have been putting out videos just recently of all their spring decks. So these are mine. These are my nature-based sort of flowers, trees, botanicals and landscapes decks. And I think I've got 5 tarot decks and about 12 oracle decks here to show you. So some of them you will have seen on my channel many times, some of them you will be very familiar with, I'm sure. In fact, probably most of them, but I'm going to show you them anyway. So this first one is the Forest of Enchantment, which I know you will all be familiar with. I hope I'm not getting too much of a glare on there. Everyone knows this very cute little deck, I'm sure. It's green. It's lush. It reminds me of spring. I know that not every card in this deck is spring-like, but it just has that vibe to me. Any deck, really, that is full of sort of lush greenness and trees and flowers and birds and things, they're all kind of springtime decks for me. So, and although I do use this deck quite a lot for readings, I haven't used it in any kind of serious way for some time. You know, I haven't journaled with it or used it particularly with other tarot decks or oracle decks. So that's what I thought I'd have a go. And the same with this one, the Druid Craft Tarot deck. It's a deck that I pull out quite often for readings because it's very intuitive, it's very talkative. And many of the cards are like this. They have that beautiful glowing sunshine, the yellows, the greens, the flowers. It just has that springtime or a summertime feel to me. It's not a winter's deck, I don't think, is it? It's too lush and it's too green and it's too full of, got all sorts of beautiful flowers. I mean, we've got little snowdrops here and primroses, and I suppose that's a very early spring, isn't it? But just look at this, look, beautiful 7 of Cups. So yeah, I shall be having a go with the lovely Druid Craft Tarot as well, and seeing what oracle decks that I enjoy that with. So there's that one. The next one is the Tarot Landscapes, and I've had this, I bought this last year sometime when it was new, and I have not read with it as such yet. I've looked through it many times, and I've used it for, like, I used it for the top tarot trumps tag. That's why I've got the Empress and the Emperor out here. But I haven't used it kind of in proper readings. I haven't studied it. I haven't spent a great deal of time with it. I was kind of waiting for spring, I think. What have I done to these cards? There we go. The cardstock of this deck is really not great. They would not withstand a lot of riffle shuffling or anything. I mean, I only shuffle overhand, so it's not a problem for me. But they don't feel great, you know. Look at the gorilla, look, the King of Pentacles. A magpie for the Magician. An owl for the High Priestess. This beautiful tree for the Hierophant, the Lovers. Oh, do you see what I mean? Not every card here has a feel of spring about it, but enough do. And it's landscapes. It's just our natural world, isn't it? The countryside, the seaside, the rivers, the oceans. It's just beautiful. And it will be really interesting to see how it reads, actually. You know, there's no people in this deck at all. There are landscapes and animals. So yeah, it will be... Oh, why did I do that? It needs to go in its proper box, doesn't it? Let me put it away properly. So yeah, it will be interesting. It's a really cool deck, I think. Sorry about this. There we go, finally. I do like these kind of boxes, actually. You know, where they slide in this way. I do like that. Right, what's next? The Herb Crafters. This is a deck that I have not read with ever, as in an actual reading for myself or anybody else. This is a deck that I pull cards from as an oracle, and I have studied and spent time with and looked at because I am fascinated with herbs and botanicals and flowers and such like. And while I'm obviously not as knowledgeable as many people here on YouTube, I do have a pretty good knowledge, actually, a working knowledge of herbs and plants, because I've always been so fascinated with them. You know, I could tell you what most of these plants are good for medicinally. Like horsetail, I know, has a lot of silicon in it. I think it's silicon or silica, something like that, and it's good for your hair. It's very strengthening for your hair and your nails and bits and pieces. And we all know catnip, don't we? I think red clover is good for hormones. Comfrey's good for your skin. Seaweed is good for all sorts of things, but not my cup of tea. Damiana, I believe, is a sort of sedative type of drug. I would imagine if you had a lot of that, it would be quite, it could be quite trippy, quite hallucinogenic. So I can see how it would be a good sort of ceremonial type herb. So yeah, I have quite a good working knowledge of herbs, and because of that, I think it helps me to see the personalities of the herbs and the plants in these cards. Like we've got chamomile here as the Ace of Water, and I guess I can see why they would have chosen that. You know, chamomile is a very gentle and soothing and calming herb. It's good for your emotions. It's good for your emotional welfare. It helps you to sleep. It helps you to stay calm. It's very good for your digestion, actually, as well. It's very soothing on your body. So, you know, I can see why they would have chosen some of these cards, like the nasturtiums for the Six of Fire. They are just such a celebration of colours, all these gorgeous reds and oranges and golds and yellows. You know, so I'm hopeful that if I try to actually read with this deck properly, that I may have some success. We will see. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, actually. I think it will be a real challenge for me. And I hope that I've got some nice oracle decks to complement that. So the last tarot deck I've got here is the Tower of Light. And you know, I think I had actually forgotten about this beautiful little deck because it was at the bottom of one of my crates where I've packed a lot of my decks that I don't use regularly. And I pulled it out the other day for the top tarot trumps. I used it for the Hierophant for the teacher. And it just reminded me that it's a very, very cute deck. I edged mine in gold. I don't like the cardstock particularly. It's quite thick and I don't know. They're just a bit too big and chunky, these cards. But the cards themselves are beautiful, and so many of the cards in this deck are to do with trees. I think it must be the Pentacles. We've got the 4 of trees, 5 of trees, 6. Stars must be wands, I would assume. Maybe, I don't know, maybe cups. You can see I haven't read with this deck, I'll own it, but look, how beautiful is that? How spring-like is that? So I'm really looking forward actually to using this deck. The guidebook is amazing actually. I read from the guidebook yesterday for the Guardian card. Is it the Guardian? What? The teacher. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really looking forward actually to having a go with this particularly and the herb crafters, because I think there will be a challenge for me in that. A lot of the guidebook for this is quite sort of well, there's a lot of Buddhist philosophy in here, but there's also a lot of pagan stuff. I mean, I was just seeing about Kali here for card number 13. So yeah, there's an awful lot of esoteric and sort of religious, as in spiritual religious information in this guidebook. I really like it. You get a description, a meaning, the impulse that the card gives you, and you also get a Rider-Waite correlation as well, because it is very different from a Rider-Waite-Smith system. So yeah, that's the Tower of Light by Denise Jarvie and Tony Carmine Salerno, and it's Blue Angel. Again, that's not a deck that you see too often for people working with, so if you do, it'd be interesting to hear how you get on. So we're on to the oracles now, and I have got about 12, I think, but I'll get through them reasonably quickly. So this is the Earth Magic by the lovely Stephen Farmer. I've got a few of his oracle decks. This one is beautiful. I don't pull it out nearly as often as I should. I don't know why, because it's just so intuitive. You know, mountain strength, forest breath, fog veiled. You know, it doesn't need lots and lots of keywords, does it? It just is really very simple and to the point, and actually quite powerful. The guidebook's pretty good. It's pretty helpful. I really do enjoy this deck. Yeah, so there's that one, the Earth Magic. It's cute on the backs of the cards there. I like that a lot. You actually get a good 2 pages and a half, it looks like, for each of the cards as well. You know, I actually find you don't always have to use the guidebook for this deck. I find it just resonates for me. I've had that deck quite a while. The next one I'm going to have a go with is a Moonology deck, because this has just been sort of neglected, really. I bought it quite excitedly, you know, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but I soon got bored with it. I think it just has its limitations as a deck, maybe, doesn't it? I mean, I'm very interested in astrology, becoming much more interested in real sky astrology than Western astrology, actually. So maybe that's why. But the guidebook is actually really useful for this deck. So, and I just thought this would be a really useful useful oracle deck to use with some of these nature-based decks that I've got here, because I very much do follow the cycles of the year. I'm always aware of, you know, when the new moon is, when the full moon is. Yeah, a lot of my practice follows the cycles of the year and the cycles of the moon, so I just thought that would be a good one to have a go with. The next one is the Wild Alchemy Lab, an astro-botanical remedy deck, and this is by Gemma Foster and illustrated by Raxin Maniquiz, and it's Orion Publishing. I have not used this deck at all yet. It is brand new in the box, and I've been waiting for the spring, to be honest, for this deck. And I remember it really was not expensive, and it's just fantastic. There's so much information on here. You get both the names of the flowers, you get the astrology at the top there, really pretty little drawings of the flowers, and then you get all of this information on the back. Tells you about agrimony, how to relax and calm, how to use it as like a tincture. It actually gives you a full recipe there. Tells you where you'll find these herbs, what type of habitat you'll find them in, how to dry them, how to, you know, use them medicinally. They're just very, very simple and very, very beautiful. Look at that, look. Lemon balm. It's one of my absolute favourites for teas, lemon balm. Meadow sweet. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that I've seen that around here just recently. It says it grows in wetlands, and I've got marsh all the way around me. Mullein as well, such a great plant. I used to have a garden where this just used to grow wild everywhere, but I don't have it here where I am. Vervain, Angelica. It's a really, really pretty deck, isn't it? I hope that working with all these lovely botanical decks isn't going to upset me too much, because like I said, I said in my other video, I'm not sowing any seeds this year. I'm not planting anything new, or at least not until I'm moved, and I really hope that that's going to be soon. I'm just sort of maintaining my garden that I've got at the moment and living out my dreams through other people's gardens and other people's videos. The next deck I've got here is the lovely Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle by Lisa Estabrook. Again, I have not worked with this deck much. I bought it just before Christmas, and I've been waiting for the spring. It's a really cute little deck, and yeah, you just get a nice image, and you get some thoughts, some words about each of the plants, like calendula, communication. That calendula helps soothe your thoughts and words with warmth and compassion. So I totally get that. And chickweed, echinacea. I have got some echinaceas growing in a pot outside. They are one of my absolute favourite flowers. They don't flower till about July time here, but then they'll go right through till sort of September, October. They are just stunning. I love them. You can get them in all different colours now, can't you? Cone flowers, I think they're called. You can get red ones, white ones, yellow ones. I intend when I move to have all of them. I did have in my old garden. I used to grow a lot of them actually. And then the guidebook for this, you get a lot of information. This is a really, really helpful guidebook actually. Really relatable as well, really relatable. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting started with that deck as well. So we're getting there. Or are we 20 minutes? I've got 7 more decks to show you. I best get on, hadn't I? Stop waffling. The next two are the Soul Trees Ascension deck and the Soul Trees Oracle cards. These are by Alison Williams Yee, and both of these decks are from Soul Trees. Can't even find it here. I think it's something like soultrees.com, and I bought these both from the US. I found it was actually cheaper to buy them both and have them shipped over together than just to buy one. So yeah, this is Soul Trees Art, soultrees.com, Soul Trees Art on Etsy. And yeah, very, very sweet. I think out of the two, I bought it first of all for the Soul Trees Oracle deck, which is this one. But I think out of the two, I actually like this one the best, the Ascension deck. It's just the colours in this deck. Look how lovely it's edged as well in this beautiful purple. I like the colour palette, I think, of this deck better. You get a guidebook, but there's only maybe 3 or 4 lines for each of the cards. These are very intuitive cards. They're designed to be used intuitively, and they are all trees, as you might have guessed. Aren't they beautiful? Look at that, look, ungrounded, and it's like the reverse, isn't it? Unity, universe, the unknown, value. So that's a beautiful, beautiful deck. I'm really looking forward to that. I've not read with this as such, but I quite regularly pull cards from here and they go on my altar. And the same with this one. I think the colour palette of this Soul Trees one is a little bit more delicate, perhaps, than the Ascension deck. And the cards are, oh look, they're shinier and stickier than the Ascension deck. They are beautiful though, aren't they? These are definitely spring-like. That lovely lavender and that green colour is so spring-like, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, and you get chakra cards in with this. I had forgotten, actually. Very nice. I'm looking forward to that. Just put that one away. So yeah, they're the Soul Trees Oracle cards. Really very simple, but really very gorgeous. And I first saw those on Carrie's channel, Carrie's Mystical Musings. She had them. So the next deck is the Celtic Tree Oracle, and I did spend quite a lot of time last year with this deck actually. I did journal with this quite a lot with, I can't remember what tarot deck I used at the same time, but as it has kind of a system. I wanted to see if I could get to know it, and if I'm honest, I can't really remember. I can't really remember what I read and what I learned, but I'd have to go back and look at my journal. That's terrible, isn't it? I did really enjoy it. It's a really useful guidebook that has a lot of really interesting information here. This is, like I said, it's a whole kind of system of reading these cards. Just looking here. Yeah. Sorry. The Ogham. Ogham? Is that how you pronounce it? The Ogham. So yeah, this is the alphabet of these trees. Yeah, I can't honestly remember. I was just looking just to see if it was ringing any bells, and I remembered, but I don't really. I'd have to look up back in my journal for last year and see. But hopefully that's what I will rediscover again once I start using them. The next deck is Botanical Inspirations by Lynn Arajou. And this is a US game systems. It comes with a beautiful little bag and this really cute little guidebook, and this very, very cute little pull-out of the secret language of flowers, which is lovely. And again, I haven't read with this as such in readings, but I quite often pull cards from this to go on my altar somewhere or other. So it's very, very pretty, isn't it? It's a very, very sweet little deck. And again, I recognise and know a bit about most of the flowers on here, so I'm hoping that that will help me with my interpretations. Look at that, Sweet William. Tulip, violet, beautiful. And the little guidebook, you actually get a fair bit of information here. You get the symbolism, like the symbolism of the red rose is to do with Cleopatra's palace being carpeted with red roses. In Greek mythology, a rose was given by Eros. Talks about ancient Rome, the Middle Ages. In the secret language of flowers, the number of roses was as significant as the colour. A single red rose meant you are the one, and a bouquet of 6 red roses means I want to be yours. So yeah, it's a really, really sweet little deck, this. The whole thing is, the box, I think it's been really thoughtfully put together, this deck. And again, just not expensive, other than the Soul Trees decks, which did cost me a fair bit of money, mainly because of shipping. Everything else here is mass market, easy to get hold of, and not expensive. The next deck, and we're down to the last 3 now. The next deck is the Sacred Destiny Oracle. I've had this deck quite a while, actually, and I did used to use it a lot when I was doing more readings on YouTube. I found it complemented a lot of the readings that I did really well, but for maybe, I don't know, the last year, it's not been out that much. And again, this is a very, very intuitive and pretty deck. Look at that, beautiful. The guidebook is really, really useful for this. Oh, look at that. That's very pretty. Let's read what it says about love. I haven't realised I haven't read anything to you from the guidebooks, have I? So these are wild roses. The rose was associated with Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. It was also thought to represent truth. In Roman times, a rose was hung in meeting places with the understanding that only truth could be spoken under the rose. In Native American tribes, wild roses are a powerful symbol of life. We've got here, the sacred landscape wants you to know love is all around you. Love is coming into your life. You are already more cherished than you can possibly know. Indeed, you are a sacred vessel for love to flow through you when you stand in the centre of it all. All is well, no matter what is happening around you. You know that you are loved and you are lovable. You know that there is nothing that you need to do to deserve love. You are enough, just as you are. The Creator is love, and in the depth of your soul you are love. In matters of the heart and romance, all is healing or is already healed. In terms of self-love, your confidence and self-esteem are growing as you take time to cherish and care for yourself. Do you see what I mean? It's a very nurturing, it's a very sweet deck, actually. I used to use that as like my last card in the reading to sort of try and tie everything up and give people some advice and some encouragement, really. So there's that one. Then the second from last is the Plant Ally cards, and I bought these quite recently, maybe just after Christmas, from Etsy. These are by Lisa McLaughlin. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly, probably not. 55 plants. Yeah. And again, I've been waiting for the spring to start using this deck. You get no guidebook with this, but you get a little card to tell you how to use the deck. And then the front of the cards are beautiful. Very, very sweet. Very, very gentle. Look at that. Wow. So watercress. Of course it's watercress, isn't it? I was thrown by all the flowers there. So watercress. Clear and release stagnant energies by starting a cleansing process. How can you help your energy flow like a river? Gorgeous. Really, really pretty deck. And I know that there is there's a tree ally. Yeah, these are the plants, aren't they? There's a tree deck of this as well, which I'm sure I will be buying at some point. Really nice, isn't it? So as you can see, I've got a lot of really nice botanicals, a lot of really nice flower type decks. It'll be really interesting to see how they pair up, won't it? And then the last deck that I've got here is the Wisdom of Trees Oracle. And I bought this last year sometime. And again, some of the cards have been on my altar, but I haven't used it yet to read with. I've been sort of getting a pile ready for the spring. So this is by Jane Struthers. And it is a Watkins Publishing deck, and it's very nice actually. I think I bought this second hand from Vinted actually, and other than me not being able to get the cards out, it was in perfect condition, nothing wrong with it at all. Not so keen on the backs. It's a funny old colour that, isn't it? But the front of the cards are beautiful. So many lovely trees here that are not native to the UK, but the silver birch definitely is. I've got 3 of these at the bottom of my garden. Stunning. Cypress, willow, pine, another bristlecone pine, peepal, banyan tree. I'm sure that they're supposed to be extremely old, aren't they? The cedar of Lebanon. We've got some very big cedar trees actually in the UK. Some that are really quite old. Baobab. I think that one's supposed to be a really old tree as well, isn't it? Maybe has a lot of water in it. Camphor, ash, Scots pine. We've got a lot of those also, a lot of oaks. I would love to go and see the redwoods in California. Yew, linden, sugar maple. I absolutely love trees. Love trees. I've actually, in my little rucksack for when I go out for the day for walks and things, I've actually got a little chart that shows you all the leaves and the berries and the seeds and everything to do with each of the native trees in the UK, because I always want to know what I'm looking at. So anyway, that is probably more than enough of me for today, isn't it? Because this is my second video I've recorded today, and it is my second attempt at this video as well. So that is more than enough, isn't it? So like I said, I hope that you enjoyed seeing these decks, and you may get to see some more of them on my channel over the next couple of months. Like I said, I'm going to work with these in, sorry about that, I'm going to work with these in April and May. When I get them all under the camera. There's another one. And the last one, there we go, the Druid craft. That's all my decks. So I hope you enjoyed that. Do please say hello to me. I would love to hear from any of you, and I'd love to hear what you're working with for the spring as well. So see you all again soon. Thank you.